The Premier to Jindabyne today. It's great to have him here, and it's also great to be here with the Assistant Commissioner of the Police and the Deputy Commissioner of the SES. We've got some important messages today about snow safety. We are about to go into a ski season, and as a local member for this area and as a person who drives the Monero Highway and the highways leading up to snow a lot in the winter, I'm hoping that people will be listening very carefully to the messages they get from the police about safety on the roads, but also in the snow and when they're coming to visit our region. It's a beautiful area, and we want people to do that safely. I'm great privilege, obviously, to have the Premier here today. Do love having him in our region, and I want to introduce him to you all.
Thanks, Steve. Of course. Fantastic to be here in Jindabyne today with Steve Wan, member for this area and Minister for Vocational Education, TAFE in New South Wales, as well as New South Wales Police Assistant Commissioner Joe Casser and Debbie Platts, who's the Acting Commissioner of the SES. There's a bit to go through this morning, so can I just speak about the flood situation in Sydney and regional areas, particularly the New South Wales South Coast. Debbie's going to give a rundown in a moment about it, but can I just say from the get-go that we're expecting rain conditions and flash flooding to ease as the day progresses. Hopefully it's a pretty clear weekend. The immediate concern for the SES is currently southwestern Sydney, the Picton area, stretching to the coast and the Illawarra all the way down to Bega. So it's very important that communities in low-lying areas listen to the SES and emergency broadcasters with the latest information. And the most important message we can send is don't drive through floodwaters. You could risk your own life, a passenger in your car, or a rescue worker from the SES, New South Wales Police or Fire and Rescues who's been sent in to save your life. So if in doubt, don't cross. If I could speak a bit about the Nepean Hawkesbury region, it's important to note that the SES has deployed forward operating vehicles and staff to that area, and we're expecting potentially flash flooding. There's an alert out in that part of New South Wales, but riverine flooding may be an issue over the weekend, but Debbie will speak more about that in a moment. We are here in Jindabyne today to speak about Operation Snow Safe, which is a big wake-up call to everybody who's going to come down here during the beautiful winter season and enjoy some of the most spectacular scenery and best fun you'll have in the entire state. We want you to have fun with your family and your friends, but do it in a safe way. And there's three big messages we're sending. Firstly, drive safely on the roads. If you're on your way to a great weekend with your mates, you don't want it to end in tragedy because of a stupid decision that you've made, particularly over long weekends. And the message is very clear. New South Wales Police are deploying a surge capacity in this part of New South Wales to catch people that are doing the wrong thing. Second part is enjoy your time down here responsibly, and that means in licensed venues. Don't act like a fool or an idiot. The police will be out and you'll be destroying or upsetting someone else's time with their family and friends. And of course, be responsible on the mountain, particularly in the high country. There is an opportunity for people to get a personal beacon if they're going away from the established ski fields from New South Wales, the Parks and Wildlife, for you to borrow one for free to keep yourself safe. Obviously you can buy one from a retailer before you come to the snow region, but it seems to me that that would be a very cheap investment, particularly as it could save your life. So that's something for everybody to consider. Follow the instructions and advice from National Park staff, from the SES and of course from New South Wales Police, and enjoy the time with your family and friends in this great part of New South Wales. And I'm going to hand over to Joe.
Thank you, Premier. Welcome everyone. Tomorrow is the official launch of snow season. Today's the official launch of the policing operation Snow Safe. We do expect in the very near future to be heavy falls of snow. Historically, there's been over 1 million people that have visited this area, so what we do expect is there is going to be an increase of traffic on the roads, there's going to be an increase of a person's activity on the ski fields, and of course within our licensed premises. So New South Wales Police Force's objective is to keep this whole area safe. So what we intend to have in place, which we've got out of the gates this morning, is additional officers seconded to the snow area for the entire snow season, and that's to complement the already existing police force here that's established within the Jindabyne sector. In addition to that, we'll have additional traffic and highway patrol officers who will also be housed in this location and performing extended patrols. We'll have the Regional Enforcement Squad deployed to this local area through the area. Our operational support group will provide additional police, and then we've got our support services such as our rescue and our dog squad that will be working with our local police on staged operations throughout the snow season. So our objective is to keep and maintain a safe environment for all families and other members of the community to come down and enjoy. We do want you to get to this location safely, so we ask that members travelling down here that take accountability of their driving responsibilities. Be mindful that you're often transporting members of your loved ones or your friends in your cars for long distances. Make sure you have your stage brakes on the way down to revive yourself. Drive to the conditions, so that means if it's raining, if it's dark, if it's white out, if it's snowing, you actually slow down your driving. Be respectful to other drivers. If you're going out and socialising at night, again, you are responsible for your own consumption of alcohol. We will hold the licensees in all the licensed premises accountable to responsible service of alcohol, but again, it's the members of the public that we really rely upon to take accountability for their own actions. Our police will be in and about the area of licensed premises, and their objective is to hold everyone accountable to the law, and again, it's a place for everyone to enjoy. This is the first season that we have had the opportunity to use our new police station at Jindabyne. It's the state-of-the-art police station. I'm very excited. We've got the capability now to house and cater for our traffic and highway patrol, our local police. If there is a need to establish a search and rescue operation, we have that Alpine operators room and the state-of-the-art facilities where we can actually get them up and running and be really effective to be able to support and service our members of the community. So again, parting words, please be accountable for your own actions, drive safely and enjoy the snow season. Can I just introduce Commissioner Platts from the SES? Thank you.
Thanks, Joe, and good morning, everybody. Well, the New South Wales SES absolutely is committed to saving lives and protecting communities, and we're very excited to have here in this area the Alpine Search and Rescue team. Now, there's 60 members who are actually trained in this area, but we can call on another 1,400 across New South Wales. And these people are trained volunteers in the most unusual types of search and rescues that you can have. So they look after the unique challenges of the Alpine region. They do amazing training. Things like going into the snow, camping out, digging snow holes, making sure that they are prepared to the best of their ability to be able to help the New South Wales Police and New South Wales Ambulance to rescue and search for people who stumble across unfortunate circumstances in the Alpine region, both in the summer but in particular in the snow, which we hope will start falling over the next week. We also have about 1,400 other SES volunteers right across the state who are also capable of carrying out search and rescue in this area, and they will be deployed should a disaster occur in this area. We also would like to remind everybody, no matter how experienced you are, make sure that you prepare and stay safe for the upcoming snow season. There are some really simple things that you can do. Know where you're going, know the tracks, stick to the tracks, wear your protective clothing and have the personalised beacons with you. Your best equipment, though, is your buddy. Make sure that you have your buddy with you. Make sure that you tell your buddy your estimated time of arrival, when you're going to be back, so that if you're not back in time, people can, like the SES and New South Wales Police, can be alerted to your status. So we hope that everybody has a remarkable holiday and opportunity down here in the Alpine region. We look forward to working with the community here, but we also look forward to working with New South Wales to make sure that our communities are safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie, and I think we're all happy to take questions.
Yeah. So on the weather, obviously you've got flooding in Sydney and surrounds. I think that the prediction wasn't as much as rain as we're actually having now. Obviously a slow start to the snow season. Does the extreme weather concern you a little bit in our state?
Well, I mean, as a general rule, we have to get more used to extreme weather in New South Wales, and that means more incidents of flooding. It means that when you've got major weather variability, you've got to have the resources in place. It's difficult sometimes to resource, but we've got a lot of confidence in the SES and the volunteers that drive that organisation, who will work around the clock if they need to keep people safe. The best thing we can do is communicate in clear information to those that are in flood-prone communities about what they need to do. If you're in one of those areas and in those communities, they're pretty adept and used to making sure they're accessing the latest information and acting on it quickly.
Okay, just some stuff on Parliament. So
sure.
DB laws, the reforms were passed last night. Good win for the government and good win for the victims of these crimes.
That's right. I mean, that legislation is important. We're very, very happy that it's passed both houses of Parliament. It will be the law of the land when it's proclaimed soon. And what it will do for those who are charged with serious domestic and family violence offences, it will reverse the onus for the presumption of bail. Now, that's important, and we believe these changes to the law will save lives. It's in addition to the $230 million that we've announced in increased domestic violence prevention funding. We need to do everything we possibly can. It's obviously a scourge in New South Wales. And if you look at some of the other jurisdictions around the country, their rates of domestic violence are dropping. Ours are going in the opposite direction. I'm cognizant of that, and we have to be honest about the challenges that we face. But this change to the law, as well as the funding, we believe will make a difference.
There's been an update on Rosehill Racecourse as well. Can you tell us what's happening there?
Well, the process has gone to the second stage. So my understanding is that the ATC, the owners of the racetrack, have written to their members. What this means is it'll go to the next stage of the unsolicited proposal. There's no major or dramatic change to the circumstances. It'll be evaluated by the government, and it will eventually be voted on by members of the ATC. They'll make the decision. What I've said in the past is that this could be a great opportunity both for the state and for racing in New South Wales. And at the very least, even if you're sceptical of the project, I'd ask people to suspend judgment until all the information's on the table, because this could be a game changer for the city and for racing.
There was an incident at Canberra Airport yesterday. Nine Chairman Peter Costello has bumped into a reporter. Have you seen the video? What's your thoughts on that?
Look, I've seen the video, but I don't really have any thoughts or commentary about it. I'll just leave it up to them.
We've heard from residents in Jindabyne that there's not enough health facilities, specifically emergency facilities. What do you say to that?
Well, we've taken that on board. Obviously, regional health facilities are a major part of the previous budget, and they will be again in the upcoming budget. Our focus, and we believe our responsibility, is to boost the regional health workforce. We've done that in a couple of ways by removing the wages cap in New South Wales that held down wages and conditions across public service. Secondly, we've increased the regional bonus to attract more people to work and serve in places like Cooma and Jindabyne for their local community, from $10,000 to $20,000. The physical infrastructure is important, but you can't run hospitals without nurses, without paramedics, without frontline healthcare workers, and we need to attract them and retain them, and I believe that's what we're doing.
So once you do attract them, will you commit to creating that hospital infrastructure?
I have to take the specifics on notice, but we did commit a record amount in regional health spending at the last budget, and we expect it to roll out as per our timetable.
And when can the owners of the Goulburn Racetrack expect the $1 million investment that you committed to over the election?
Yeah, that's on track. The $1 million has been set aside, and we anticipate it will be in their hands very soon.
And there's concerns the government's ignoring Goulburn, as it does have a strong Liberal kind of presence there, and you're prioritising the Black Rock Motor Resort development to win back that Lake Macquarie seat. What's your response to those concerns?
Well, I mean, I think those concerns have largely been raised by the incumbent Liberal member, and look, I get it. I was in opposition myself. The call always goes out that our area is being neglected, but I think if you look at the facts, our investment in regional communities, particularly when it comes to schools and hospitals and those that work in them, they stretch for the entire state, but particularly for regional New South Wales. So I think the best thing I can do as the Premier of New South Wales is attract and retain teachers, nurses and paramedics, as well as police officers, to communities like Goulburn, and that's what our budgets are doing.
Joe, I might grab you quickly, if that's okay. You're obviously preparing for a big influx of tourists to the snow. Do you find that Sydney-siders or people from areas that don't experience snow underestimate the conditions, whether that's the roads, the slopes, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you've got to be realistic. Every year there's a new cohort of drivers that have just got their licence, and realistically they're the cohort that want to beeline straight down the snow. But rest assured, we are putting a lot of resources on the road. We're setting up our drug and alcohol testing on the roadside, so clear message. If you're going to take the risk of using alcohol or drugs, you will get caught. Our enforcement and our signage all the way through is to drive to the conditions, and realistically, until you hit black ice, you don't know to handle it. So you've really got to listen to the messaging that's put out there, and there is a lot of messaging. So again, I'll put the call out to all drivers, whether it's first year driving, you've been driving for 30 years, just drive to the conditions and take your time and get there safely.
Yeah, the snow has a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a party spot sometimes, drugs, alcohol consumed. Police are obviously aware of this, and you'll have measures in place to counteract that? Absolutely.
So we will be working in about licensed premises, but again, we've got an increase of policing numbers through that 4-month period. So if there are the party house environments and there are complaints, we're able to set up police and respond quite quickly.
Can you tell me how many extra officers come down to the snow in winter?
Yeah, so there's 10 seconded to the additional staff that are down here. So they're permanent secondees who are actually living and breathing within Jindabyne for that 4-month period. But in addition to that, we've got highway patrol that are stationed here for days or weeks, and then they do extended patrols from Cooma all the way up and back. So we've got more highway patrol on the ground, and then on top of that, we've got the region enforcement squad that will be doing their operation, our operational support group that will be doing their high visibility policing operation to complement the drug dog operations. So lots.
All we need now is some snow.
Lots of snow.
It's coming. It's coming.
Joe, what about on the slopes itself? Like I see these snow skis in the background. So what about presence on that?
So our local police are alpine operator trained, but it's not their job to do the patrol on the snow. So we've got our Perishes and Thredbo Snow Resorts look after that component of it. But we will be putting police out and about, both plainclothes and uniformed police, because theft historically has been an issue. People leave their skis, they go in, they have their cups of coffee. They've got some great CCTV cameras there that prevents and helps us detect offenders. But at the end of the day, there's nothing better than having that police patrol, whether it's plainclothes or uniform, to try to deter that from occurring in the first place. Generally speaking, the people that come down here don't come down to steal gear, but it does happen, unfortunately, and that's why we want to be able to respond to it.
Steve, if I could ask you a couple of questions. Was it not long ago that you announced a text message system to notify people about the roads because traffic's been a problem as has parking during the snow time? So how's that going? Has there been much of an uptake?
Well, we're only just starting the season, so the issues around, which we do see every season once you get a bit of snow, is that we do get the car parks full very quickly at Perisher and particularly, and so we are trying the text messaging as part of the way of trying to stop people from having to drive all the way up the road, maybe park here and use the bus service, which, as you know, has been expanded this year, so people can get a bus from Cooma or from Jindabyne up to the ski fields and leave their car here in Jindabyne, which is a great option when we do see that congestion at the resorts.
There's always a sense of anticipation with the snow season, like as we've heard, we're waiting for the snow, and last year it wasn't so great. Do you have any words of reassurance or anything you'd like to say for the tourism industry, which really relies on this period?
Well, they do, but I guess one of the things about Jindabyne is that we've seen this diversification over year-round tourism in the Jindabyne and Snowy Mountains area, and that's been really good news. When you come here in the summer now, you see a lot of mountain bikers. Obviously, we're hoping for a huge dump of snow in the next week or so to get things going. I'm confident that we'll see a good bit of snow. We just need it needs to be a lot colder. We should be shivering here right now, but hopefully we'll get there in a few. You are? Okay, all right. Hopefully we'll get those temperatures that allow the snowmaking to happen. The resorts have put a huge investment into snowmaking, so we can be confident that once we get the nighttime temperatures, there will be snow for people to come and ski on. And I'd encourage people to be booking and planning their trips and doing it and driving carefully when they get here, as the police have so clearly said.
Steve, what's the latest on the Bungendore High School?
The Bungendore High School is, they're going through the process of trying to resubmit a planning application at the moment. Timeframes are a bit uncertain because of that. And look, as I've said many times before, this is a mess that this government has been left with, which is really difficult to sort out, particularly when you've got quite a divided community on the high school itself. But we're doing our best to try and make sure that we can deliver a permanent high school there as quickly as possible.
A community group recently submitted an FOI on that specific project, correspondence between yourself and the Education Department. Why was that one rejected?
Well, obviously the department deals with what's been rejected, but from my point of view, the briefings I get on this are generally verbal, so they may be looking for things which aren't there.